Well, first off, let me remind you again that I was not involved in the EJM early on negotiations and bringing them to the community. So I don't know what they saw or what they didn't see or what they asked for or what they got. And I wasn't a party to any of that, so I can't second guess those things. What I can tell you is that when we, the city of Andalusia, during my administration, is involved in anything, we do what's called a due diligence on any company that we bring in or do business with. And that's just good business practices. So the answer to your question will be, in the future, anybody that I, as the mayor, do business with, we certainly will do a due diligence study with those folks, just like any business would, going into a partnership or any kind of relationship with a business, yes.
Well, in today's economy, and as hard as the community is striving to bring business and keep money in the community and have future for our children and city growth, a lot of times there's some actions taken possibly that aren't meeting all the criteria that you just mentioned.
Well, in fairness to the people who were in position of leadership at that time, they were anxious to bring in new business, and sometimes you can get over anxious and not do as much due diligence as you should. And I'm not saying they did or didn't. I don't know. I don't know the details of all of that. So there's some danger of being over anxious and moving too quickly. Again, I'm not saying that did or did not happen in this case. There's always some risk associated with any business venture. Nobody can guarantee you or me that they absolutely can or cannot do something. Now, there are ways to protect yourself from some recoil when they don't do what they should do. And in this case, I'm sure that the airport authority will be pursuing EJM for their shortfall in the lease payments out there. But there's always a risk involved with any business venture that you get involved with. So sometimes those risks overcome or overbalance the thing, and that's what happened here at EJM. It didn't work out. And now we've got to move forward and go from there. And now the upside of that is we've got some very state-of-the-art facilities out there to market across that would be marketable on a national basis. And I think that in the long run we'll be successful with that, and we'll be happy that we've got those facilities. Now it's going to be between now and then, it may be tough on us, but if it was easy, we'd all be doing it. We as a community have got to accept some risk associated. That risk ought to be reasonable. It ought to be prudent, and it ought to be, decisions ought to be made in a business-like manner. But you can't take all risk out of these decisions. And so, having said that, you try to remove as much of it as you can.
Mayor, you mentioned that the possible going after EJM would be prudent.
I didn't say go after them. I said I think that I'm sure that the airport authority will be pursuing a legal remedy against EJM for the balance of their obligation under that lease.
And the reason I'm asking you, Mayor, is in our investigation over the past few days on this, we were told that it's been recommended by their legal counsel, Mr. Clifton, that to leave EJM alone, that there's nothing there for them to go after.
Well, I'm not privy to that.
I'm asking you, do you think they should go after EJM?
What I would say is this: with what I know now, yes, I think they should be held to account. Now, there may not be any assets there. If you got a judgment against EJM, there may not be any assets with which to levy against or satisfy your judgment. But there's got to be some accountability. And in this situation, someone's got to be held accountable. And in this situation, EJM breached the lease by leaving. It's just that simple. Now, do you now spend a bunch of money to try to make them pay if they can't pay? That's a question that the airport authority members will have to satisfy in their mind. You don't chase bad money with good money, if you follow what I mean. And that may be, and again, I haven't talked to Mr. Clifton about this, so I don't know what his recommendation to the airport authority is, but it's my understanding that they intend to file an action against EJM to recover or attempt to recover any shortfall in the lease payments.
Well, like I say, during our investigation, that's one of the comments that were made from somebody that would be in the know, but again, that could change and,
sure.
and things happen. One of the things, or a couple of things you mentioned, and we want to highlight, is the buildings are state-of-the-art. They're a fantastic facility. It's got an administration building out there that is current and modern, and we've got a 6,000-foot runway. Right. And so we're, in our interview with the administrator yesterday, we can take up to 737 aircraft out
Correct.
there at this time. So there's a lot of possibilities out there, and with the ability to go with more growth, because we have that expansion capability up to 7,000 feet of the runway. So,
well, again, that kind of gets back to what I was saying earlier. In a perfect world, I would have loved for EJM to have stayed here and carried out to the nth degree what they said they were going to do. But at the same time, had EJM not come, we wouldn't have those facilities, and we wouldn't have had the extension on the runway. Now, some people say, well, we don't need all that. Well, we do need that if we're going to compete on a national and international level for businesses to come here and bring new jobs and new opportunities to our citizens. We've got to have those facilities. So, yes, a bad thing that they're gone. I wish they weren't gone. I wish they were here. But there's also an upside to it, and that is we've got some great facilities that we can recruit to.